I'd like to start off with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., which says, "Change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through constant struggle." Now, I know my theme is procrastination and productivity. I understand that. But I find this quote so important for one reason. Because without the term procrastination, productivity, we wouldn't have to struggle for that change. We wouldn't have to change for something better so that we, as a whole, can progress. So now, let's understand exactly what is productivity, right? What is it? Now, I made this slide specifically for those who don't have this issue. So, of course, as you can see, it bases and centers upon getting things done efficiently, in a timely manner, in a way that minimizes the amount of energy lost. Now, you can see this principle throughout all of society. Let's say, for example, physics. In physics and mechanics, you try to get the least amount of wasted energy as possible. And it's no different from the human body, because we too are a type of machine. A machine with emotions, something very specific, very new, okay? And now, understanding procrastination, right? Let's understand this concept as a whole. Now, procrastination, what it really boils down to is putting things off. Saying, I'm going to do it later, but you never do it, right? I know there's been so many students, I know everyone has been a student here, and you know that one project, that one time that you just didn't want to do it that time. You didn't want to do it that afternoon, and you said, you know what, I'm going to do it later. What happens when it comes later? Nothing. You don't do it. You know that there's consequences, but you never get to do it. Why? Your own mind blocks you in this sense that it doesn't help due to fear, anxiety, not doing things right, or maybe saying it's too much. I'm never going to finish. It's not possible, right? So, what are some causes of procrastination? What are some things that can cause this, right? Of course, anxiety and stress, some deadlines that you can't just meet, burnout. I'm going to focus a lot on burnout because us as students, we go to school constantly. We do these projects constantly, and it feels like we never get a break. Of course, we do, but we don't feel it because we're still with that looming sense of dread that we have to get something done, that there's still more to work on, that you're still in school even though you're at home. But if you just change, if you struggle for that, you can become better. And you can overcome this sense of dread, and you can relieve this stress, this anxiety that you have. Now, some effects of procrastination. Of course, just about everyone has felt these before. You feel that deadline that just never happens, the things that you put off, the low energy and low confidence. You don't feel like yourself. You go to school, let's say, with a project that you did last minute. Let's say you had a biology project, a PowerPoint presentation, and you showed up with a couple white pages scribbled on it some information. You go to the teacher and you say, here's my work, and she says, for what? Why? What is this? I gave you an entire day. And you say, well, I just didn't do it. So not only do others feel that you didn't get enough done, that you aren't enough, but you also know that you could have done better. Just about everyone knows that you could have been something more, something better. And what happened? It's gone. That's why the change is so important. It matters so much for us. Now, how to overcome this? Very simply, in simple terms, all you have to do here, set some small manageable goals. This works in many ways because it breaks things up into small pieces that are easy to take in. Let's say you have a 10-page essay and you say, 10 pages, that's not, how am I going to get that done? You break it down into parts. You say 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, the list goes on, and you take it one at a time, and you don't see it as a whole. Some of us who do chores at home, your mom tells you, do the chores, do all of this. And you say, wow, that's a lot. But all it really was is just, all I have to do is make my bed, wash the dishes, do just a couple of things, maybe clean up around the house, just broom and mop. And what did it take you? 2 hours. But you thought it would take you the entire day, maybe even tomorrow. It felt like so much, but if you just break it down into simple little pieces, as well as schedules here. Now, schedules are very important too. That's why us in school, we also have schedules. It sets order. It sets a purpose that every hour matters and counts towards something. You have this schedule and you get a little tick off each box. You say, here we go, I'm doing this. And it's getting done little by little, but it's going to get done. It's something progressive that builds up over time like exponential growth. We see it a lot in interest, for example. You see little exponential growth that over time will take you to the moon, essentially. So, what are some time management techniques? Here we go. To-do lists. I like this one personally because you can see everything that you have to do box by box. You can see every little tick that you did, and all of that effort that you put in represents that little tick, that little box, that sentence that says, I did this. And you move on to the next one and you say, here we go. Because I'm not scared to keep on going. Because this isn't too much for me. Because I can handle it. I can go forward. I can move on with what I have to do. Next one, scheduling tasks with breaks. Very important. I'm going to get into that right now, just after this. See, tracking progress as well, as I said. But I'm going to get into the methods that I can give to you that personally have worked for me very well. The first one being the Pomodoro technique. Now, what is this exactly? It's very simple. All you have to do is take 25 minutes out of your hour, your time, and you say, these 25 minutes, I'm going to work. I'm going to get this done. And then you take a 5-minute break. You say, here we go, we're going to do it in cycles. You take 4 of these cycles. Just 4, it's just 2 hours. And then you take a longer break. So you're breaking things up into parts so that then you can get the longer break and continuously take it in a way that you can manage it. So, what are some benefits? Of course, more time, less procrastination. It doesn't feel as daunting. The tasks feel lighter. They don't feel like they're as much as they used to be. You see them in the little bite-sized pieces that they're really meant to be. When we're eating something, we don't eat it all in one bite. It's impossible. That's why the saying goes, you bit off more than you could chew. You have to take it piece by piece, bite by bite, and over time you will get there. You will manage your goals. You will do something. Now, the final one here, this one's for studying, because I know it's very difficult to sit down for an exam, study all day, just keep on going. This one, the Feynman method. Personally, my favorite, because of one thing. You become the teacher. You are the teacher. Not only the student, but also the teacher. You get taught. Now, it bases on getting taught a source material, the basics. And then you move on and you teach it to someone else. You give it into their hands. And here's the flowchart right here. You teach it to someone, fill the holes in your knowledge where you made a mistake, and then you just review what you learned and you go back. The cycle repeats and it's a positive feedback loop. What it does is it gives you more power over what you learn and what you teach. Lots of benefits here, right? I move on, of course, the benefits. Here we go. Makes learning engaging, something that you can be proud of, something that you can be happy to do. What I mean by this is, of course, teachers know that when they give a class, they can make it fun, they can make it boring, they can make you write, they can make you participate, do something that you find fun. So as the teacher, you can see yourself, the student, and you could make this something engaging for not only you, but also the person that you're teaching it to. So it just helps both of you out. Now, reveals areas of confusion, of course. You're missing something, you're missing a little detail. There it is. You remember what it is, you go back, you learn it again. The deeper understanding, this part is so important, that you properly understand it in your own way. Now, someone could tell you that the sky is blue, but you'd say, why? I don't know why it is. But if you become your own teacher and understand it to your own way, you'll say, now I know why the sky is blue. Now I know why everything is as it is. Because not only have I explained it to myself, but I've had someone understand it too. Now, before I go, I'd like to come up on the same quote that we started out with. Again, Change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through constant struggle. The most important thing here is that we don't become a procrastinator to a super productive person the next day. That's impossible. It's never going to happen. It takes time, it takes effort, and most of all, most importantly, it takes struggle. You have to fight to be a better person, to change, to be someone new, someone you aspire to be, someone to inspire others. And that is the most important part of all of this. Thank you very much.